Hi friends, welcome to English Study Point. Today in this video lecture, I am going to discuss a work by Edgar Allan Poe titled as The Raven. The work was published in New York Evening Mirror in the year 1845. The famous refrain of the poem is nevermore. The refrain is a type of word which keeps on occurring again and again in a work. The poem is inspired by Dickens' work called Barnaby Rudge. Barnaby Rudge is a local idiot who wanders with his pet named Raven Grip. The poem begins with a sorrowful tone. The narrator is described as reading books to forget the sadness caused by the death of his beloved, whose name is Lenore. So the poem begins with the main character mourning the loss of his beloved called Lenore. He is alone in his chamber when he hears a tapping on his door. This is the time when he is about to fall asleep, and at this movement he hears a tapping at his chamber door. Opening the door, he finds nothing there, but the tapping continues, this time coming from his window. Here he becomes frightened but eventually opens the door to find nothing there. Here he also rationalizes the tapping as just the wind or some other natural occurrence, but the feeling of unease kept on lingering. He opens the window and a raven enters, perching on a burst of Pallas Athena. Perching means resting on something. किसी चीज पर बैठकर रेस्ट लेना is called as perching. Pallas is the Greek goddess of wisdom, which is located above the narrator's chamber door. And the raven's presence here puzzles and intrigues the narrator. The man is both fascinated as well as disturbed by the raven's presence. That means raven's presence tries to puzzle as well as intrigues the narrator. He begins to converse with the bird, asking its name. To his surprise, the raven answers nevermore. He asks the raven its name, and the bird responds with the word nevermore. And this is the phrase, refrain, which keeps on reoccurring again and again in this poetry titled as The Raven. The narrator continues to ask the raven questions, seeking solace and distraction from his grief. However, the raven's repeated response of nevermore slowly drives the narrator to madness. Here, the man interprets this as the bird's name, means nevermore as the bird's name, but soon realizes that nevermore is the raven's only response to every question. The man becomes increasingly tormented by the raven's repeated utterance of a word called nevermore. He interprets the raven's response as a reflection of his own anguish and despair. He questions the raven about the possibility of seeing his beloved Lenore again, to which the raven responds with the same haunting word called nevermore. What a speaker trying to do here is he tries to seek answers from the raven about the possibility of seeing Lenore again or in an afterlife, but receives only the same response. The raven's repetition of this word becomes tormenting for the narrator, who increasingly sees the bird as a symbol of his own bleak existence. The man's desperation and despair grows as he sees the raven as a prophet of doom, and by getting same response every time, he pleads for the raven to leave him alone, but the bird insists on staying and further tormenting him. The man realizes that his soul will forever be trapped in darkness, haunted by the raven and its haunting repetition of a word called nevermore. The poem concludes with the narrator accepting the raven's perch on the bust of Pallas as a permanent reminder of his sorrow. He declares that his soul will be lifted nevermore and that the raven will be a constant reminder of his lost love. The poem at last ends with the man accepting his fate and sinking into eternal darkness, unable to escape the torment of the raven's presence. Then, with this video lecture ends here. Hope this video lecture will help you in your UGC NET English Literature exams. Thank you.